In this episode, I'll be sharing the 5 things that you have to believe about yourself to manifest the life and love that you want. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Katie, and after many years as a struggling single mum, I transformed into a highly successful manifester with multiple businesses, better relationships, financial abundance, and way more peace, joy, and happiness in my life. Each week, I share the real secrets around how to manifest successfully, as well as the amazing and sometimes crazy lessons I've learned along the way, so that you can apply it all to your own manifesting, transforming your life from the inside out. This is That Manifesting Podcast.
Welcome back to That Manifesting Podcast. Can't believe it's Wednesday again. It rolls round so quickly, but I'm really, really excited to be with you today. This episode is going to be really helpful for getting your mindset in the right place for manifesting, particularly if you feel like you are doing the right things, but what you want isn't manifesting. That's what this episode is really going to help with. Before I get into it, I want to remind you that there is the option to text into the show. You'll see the link just below the show notes, just below this episode. And I would love to hear from you. What do you enjoy about the show? What would you like me to do differently? What are some of the topics I haven't covered that you'd like me to cover? Do you have any questions about the content? I know I'm being needy, but I would love that from you. This show is all for you. It's to help you on your manifesting journey. Everything I create is with that intention in mind. So if there is anything that you feel like I could share on a deeper level, text in, let me know, and I will add that into future episodes. Okay, let's get into this episode. So it's all around the 5 things that you have to believe about yourself to manifest the life and love that you want. I came to this episode idea because I was looking back at some of my old journals that I wrote years ago when times were really, really tough for me. I've always been a bit of a diary writer, even back to my early teenage years, the angst of being a teenager, wondering why Ian didn't fancy me back. Yes, I did fancy somebody called Ian. Oh my God. I mean, now, no. No, I'm joking. Any Ians out there, I love you, but you're probably not the person that I used to fancy when I was at school. But anyway, Ian didn't fancy me back, and that was the subject of many a diary entry when I was young. But in later years, when I became a single parent, journaling for me was a way just to let out how I was feeling about my life and the world, and just really what was going on in my head. And reading back on those journals was very interesting to me, because what I realised was back then I put all of my emphasis on whether I was being successful and happy in life on external things. If I was happy at work depended on how other people were at work, or depended on how customers were at work. How I felt about dating and relationships was all dependent on what the other person was doing. My full idea of happiness and success was all about other people, other things. And that was where I was going wrong, because it was my beliefs that had to change. And not just beliefs about what I could manifest, but the beliefs that I had about myself. After having a look through some of these old journals, I identified some patterns, and that's what's led me to the 5 things that I'll share today that you have to believe about yourself to manifest the life and love that you want. It was when I started to change those beliefs, those 5 things, that I started to see some shifts. I'm hoping that they will do the same for you too. Okay, let's just get straight into it. The first belief is I am content but not complete. This was a powerful one. Think about when you're content. If you're content with something, you're happy with where you are, you're happy with what's going on, but there, at some level, you know there's more out there for you. You can live your life feeling really good, feeling happy about things, but you're not quite where you know you can be. That to me is the definition of being content. I know from first-hand experience that is easier said than done. When life is a bit shit, it's hard to feel content. You will look at your life and you will tend to focus on the things that are going wrong rather than the things that are going right. My challenge to you is to look for the joy in the small things that keep the belief strong that you are content. For me, going back to the work situation, if something was kicking off at work and it was really impacting me, to feel like I was content, I would focus on the things that I really liked about my job. So I would think, do you know what, I'm really content with the salary I get, or the time off that I get, or the flexible working that I have, whatever it may have been at the time. And that's what you need to do, particularly in challenging situations, is look for the areas where you can feel content. Now, a lot of mainstream manifesting advice will tell you that you have to be full of gratitude for every single aspect of your life, floating through life, feeling like everything's amazing, even if everything's not, and you have to feel abundant in every single area of your life to manifest anything worth having, which again, I know is tough. But that's where your manifesting can stall. Because if you do have that mindset that they talk to you about, which is basically saying, oh, I'm complete as I am, I've got everything I need, your belief is actually that there's nothing more to achieve or aspire to. And that closes you off to greater possibilities and keeps you stuck where you are. So the trick here is to have balance when you want to manifest more. You have to be content with your lot in life, warts and all. But you also have to know that you're capable of achieving more, so you're not yet complete. And that is where the content but not complete mindset comes in. The best thing about content but not complete is that it doesn't focus on any lack. It focuses on what you've already got in a really positive way, but at the same time you're holding space knowing that more is on the way. Being content keeps you grounded, it keeps you grateful, but knowing you're not yet complete keeps you motivated and open to all those new opportunities. Now, I had a client who found this really helpful in their career. She had a dream of having a business, but she kind of parked it because she didn't really know if it was something she could follow. She would work different part-time jobs, and at first she really hated it because she felt all unaligned. But when we worked together and she adopted this content but not complete mindset, she started to appreciate the current jobs that she had, what she had accomplished in them, the money that she earned, the skills that she'd learnt, but she also stayed open to manifesting more opportunities, a promotion, or even a career change. And when she had that content but not complete mindset, what ended up happening is that opportunities opened for her to turn that passion that she originally had into a business. Now, that didn't happen overnight because, as you know, manifesting a massive life change doesn't happen overnight. So it started out as a side hustle. So then she had the challenge of trying to build her side hustle with trying to build her part-time jobs. That created challenges in itself, but she still chose to have that content but not complete mindset. She was content that she was building the business she wanted. She was content that she had the part-time jobs that she needed to give her the income and the freedom to build her part-time business. But she knew it wasn't complete. This wasn't where the story would end for her in terms of business. She kept on with that mindset, and eventually she had her own successful business, and she left all of those part-time jobs behind. Today she is a thriving, successful business owner, and that would not have happened without the content but not complete belief. That's number one. I am content but not complete. You are happy with your lot in life. You know that things could be different, and you know that this isn't where you're meant to stay. and you're excited about that. The second belief to adopt is, I don't deserve anything, but I'm worthy of everything. I love this belief because it tackles another huge misconception that's peddled in a lot of advice, that especially around manifesting, and it always says, go for what you deserve. You deserve love. You deserve this. You deserve that. You deserve £1 million. You deserve Brad Pitt. You deserve Ryan Reynolds. You deserve to look like, I don't know, who's some gorgeous girl? Her. Anyway, whoever she is. But here's the thing. Being deserving and being worthy are two completely different things. When you think that you deserve something, the belief is that you're owed it by the universe, almost like it's a transaction. For example, one I hear a lot is, I'm a really nice person. I deserve to find love. But life doesn't work that way, does it? Or you'd already have everything that you thought you deserved. Now, that feeling of deservingness is often driven by low self-esteem, because it's like you have to have your value proved by the things that you get. And if you don't get them, it means something about you. And that's why deservingness is not a helpful belief in manifesting, because again, it focuses on lack and it's driven from a low vibe feeling. That's why instead you need to focus on feeling worthy, because worthiness is about knowing your value as a person and believing that you're enough just as you are. Think about athletes who train for years. They never have any guarantee of winning medals, but their sense of worthiness drives them on. Not the idea of deserving a medal because of hard work. They believe that they're worthy of competing, they're worthy of achieving a win, but they don't automatically think they deserve that medal just because they put in the training. Now, this is quite a subtle shift in thinking, but in manifesting terms, it's incredibly powerful, because what it does is it takes you from a limiting belief position to an empowering one, just believing that you're worthy of something rather than you deserve it. Removes that sense of entitlement and removes that attachment that somehow if you don't get something, that's linked to your value as a person. Number 3 is everything is figure-outable. If you're familiar with Marie Forleo, then you will know this, because she coined this term, everything is figure-outable. And I love it. It is such a powerful belief to hold on to. This belief means that no matter what challenges you face, there's always a solution, always a way to move forward. Think about the times that you've faced something that in the moment felt like an impossible challenge. Remember how you found a way through it. When you're in the thick of something, it can feel like there's no way out. And I know that myself. I, years ago, had the most horrendous debt problems. I'm talking tens of thousands of pounds on credit cards, loans, and I had no way to repay it. I would get the statements coming in every month and I would just look at them and feel like this is the month that this is going to be the month that I can't afford to pay it. This is going to be the month that everything goes wrong. And I chose to put my head in the sand and just keep spending. I think I had a bit of a shopping addiction back then. I would get on the train and go to London and spend like £3,000 on a credit card on shopping. I would get home and just chuck everything in my spare room. The next day I would get up, get on the train, go to Birmingham, do the same again, just throw everything in the spare room. I think I was compensating for the loneliness and the pain that I felt in my life, and I was trying to look for that quick fix. But what that eventually did was just made me run up as I said, tens of thousands of pounds of credit card debt and personal loans, because I would take out a personal loan to pay off all the credit cards, and then I'd just rack up the credit cards again. And it got to a point where I just felt like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I could lose my house, because if I go bankrupt, I'm going to lose everything, and then I'm not going to have a home for my daughter. It just felt insurmountable. Luckily, I found a way through. I had to go through some payment plans and spoke to the credit card people, and my mum was just amazing with advice and help and support through that time. But when I was in the thick of it, I couldn't see any way out of it. But everything was figure-outable. I just had to figure out what I needed to do. When you adopt that belief of everything is figure-outable, even the crappiest times lose their power, because you know that no matter what, no matter how hard something feels, no matter how painful something feels, at some point the tide will turn and it will be okay again. It empowers you to tackle challenges head on, rather than doing what I did with my debt and sticking my head in the sand for years and then just feeling defeated. When you have that figure-outable mindset, you know that there's a way through. Look at the most successful people in the world, whether that's in business, in amazing relationships, or other situations. If you read any of their autobiographies, they will always talk about the numerous setbacks and obstacles that they face. But at some point they come through them, because they believe that everything is figure-outable, and that's what leads to their success. They learn from their failures, they adapt, and that helps them find new ways to succeed. The most powerful manifestors still have challenges, still have shit times, but it's how they tackle them that counts. When you can adopt the belief that everything is figure-outable, then you will start to see things shift a lot faster, rather than doing what I did and having to wait for years and years before anything changed. The fourth belief is to switch from thinking I can to it's already mine. This will sound familiar if you follow a lot of manifesting content, because it's the belief around the power of certainty. When you order something online, like from Amazon, you find what you want, you place your order, you pay for it, you do all the things you're supposed to do. You don't then sit and wonder if you'll get it. You don't sit and think, after you've ordered the book that you wanted, oh, I can have that book. No, you've placed the order, you've taken the necessary steps. You know that book is yours. Just because it's not at your door yet, just because you're not holding it in your hand, you still know it's yours. You don't sit there once you've ordered and paid for a book thinking, I can have that book. You think that book is mine. It just hasn't arrived yet. And that's the kind of certainty that you need when you're manifesting. Instead of thinking, I can manifest love, I can manifest a new business, I can manifest that dream house, you've got to shift it to thinking, my soulmate is on the way. My business is manifesting. I'm excited to live in my dream house. Again, it's a very subtle shift, but it makes a huge difference, because it's about having faith that what you want is already yours. It just hasn't appeared in your reality yet. If you can think of it as every time you want something, imagine you've placed an order with the universe's version of Amazon. You've placed your order. You're showing up, you're doing the right things to get what you want. Now it's just waiting for Amazon of the universe to deliver it to you. That is what this mindset is all about. So, for example, if you're a solo parent and you're working towards a better job, don't just think, I can get a new job. I can get something that pays more. Instead, look at it from the perspective of, that job is mine. It's coming to me. That promotion is mine. I just need to do the right action steps to get it. That's how you start to build confidence, because when you believe that something is inherently yours, you then take the necessary steps. You become the future version of you that already has it. And it gives you that positive attitude towards going for what you want. So yes, that's the fourth belief. I can is the wrong way to look at it. You have to look at it as, it's already mine. It just hasn't been delivered yet. Okay, number 5, the last belief to adopt is, I will never be the finished article. This is a really liberating concept because it means that there's always room for growth and improvement. So no matter how much you've achieved, there's always more to learn and experience. And I think it's this belief in particular that has caused so many manifesting outcomes in my life to happen, like my businesses, travel, opportunities with the house. Everything that I've manifested, I think, comes down to this belief in part being responsible, which is I will never be the finished article. Because what it does is it embraces the idea that you're a work in progress. It allows you to stay curious and open to new experiences. It's not about being perfect. It's about continuous growth. There's nothing wrong with where you are right now because it's where you need to be. But there's also nothing wrong in knowing that you'll never be the finished article, because if you're doing life right, you'll never get to the point where you think, okay, I'm it. I'm all done. I'm perfect. I don't need to learn anything more about life. I know everything I need to know about how to be the perfect person. That's just not going to happen. You should always be moving forward, always learning new things about yourself, and then you can adapt how you show up in the world. Because the person you are right now is not the person who will manifest what you want, or else you'd already have it by now. So you have to keep that mindset of, I will never be the finished article, because that's how you continue to manifest more and more and more and more. And that's it. Those are the 5 things that you have to believe about yourself to manifest the life and love that you want. Let's quickly recap. The first one is, I am content but not complete. The second one is, I don't deserve anything, but I am worthy of everything. The third one is, everything is figure-outable. The fourth is shifting from I can to it's mine. And the fifth is, I will never be the finished article. It gives me chills just reading those back, because I know how much difference they made in my life. Save this episode, listen to it again and again and again. Or you can even start to look now, how have you been working against those beliefs in your mindset to date? Can you see how they've impacted your manifesting? Everything is out there ready for you and waiting for you. And it's often these little subtle shifts in your thinking and the way that you look at life and your manifesting abilities. It's those little things that will make the difference, because they all add up. Every little mindset shift that you can have will help you on your journey to manifesting something different. And that is a powerful place to be, because each little step is cemented. When you try to change too much all at once, it's too much. It's too scary. It's too big. Make these subtle little changes. If you're listening to me week after week after week, you will be getting all these little nuggets of information that are subtly helping you to change your mindset, change your belief patterns, change how you show up in the world. And that is what a powerful manifester does.
So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed listening, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a review, because it really does help me to reach more people. I've left some links in the show notes so you can connect with me, or you can grab one of my manifesting resources. Until next week, sending you lots of love, light and manifesting vibes.